Hello, everyone. First, I want to start off the press conference with just talking about we're so excited to welcome Jed Fish. It's a great hire by our department. We're just ecstatic about it, and I love it because his daughters love women's basketball. So had a chance to speak with them, and I know they're excited about what we're doing here, everything about Arizona, and I'm just excited for the um, the program. I think that football here, when I went to school here, it was what everybody talked about. You had Brandon Sanders, Teddy Bruschi, all those legends back then, and it's just really exciting program. So I think there's so much potential here. So just can't wait to see what Jed does, and he's so excited to be in Tucson. So we're so excited to have him. So
all right, go ahead, Justin.
And what did you take away from that conversation with Coach Fish?
Well, it's funny because we have a mutual friend. Like, he knows Corey Close and some other Pac-12 coaches, and he followed women's basketball here. His daughters love basketball, so he told me they're going to be coming to camps and involved, and just really love what we're doing. So it was important to me just to know that he was following what we're doing and excited about everything here at Arizona, and just happy to be coming here. And I think that his enthusiasm is just obvious, and I think he's going to do some great things here.
And did you bring up the time when you were going to Arizona and how good the football team was then?
No, of course I didn't say, "Hey, well, back in the day." No, I did not. But because I'm sure he knows. But I think that he has a change. I think that he's a really good fit, and I think Tucson will love him. And just like we're excited here in the department, and I've heard a lot of mutual friends know him and heard some great things. So I'm excited to welcome him and his family.
And for tomorrow's game, or excuse me, the game coming up in a couple of days, I know you would like to have fans for a game like this, but
yes,
I'm sure this is also a pretty good recruiting tool, being on national TV.
It is. Well, being on national TV. Oh, okay. So yeah, well, I thought you meant like ESPN. No, because we're gonna have an ESPN game at Stanford. So I really think, honestly, personally.
Oh, sorry, I got that confused. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I really think that this game should be on ESPN. I think it's a great game. We're two good teams. 1 versus 6. I think it's a pretty big thing. So to me, it should be on ESPN. It's not. It's on the Pac-12 network. But I think that it's going to be a good game. Tara does a great job. She always has a talented team with so much talent and so many weapons. So excited. I'm excited for the program. I'm excited to just see what happens. I think it's a good measurement as to where we're at, like where we're at, where are we at this point in the season without having a non-conference and being in kind of the thick of Pac-12 play now. So I'm just excited to see what happens. But no doubt, I wish we had fans, because I honestly feel that if we had fans, we would sell out McHale. I think that there would have been a sellout crowd on Friday. I'm pretty positive about that. So hopefully, optimistic that we can do that in a few months and bring our fans back.
Troy, go ahead.
So, Coach, last year versus Stanford, they were number 4 in the country, and that was your guys' first top 5 victory as a program. Friday, if you guys beat number 1 Stanford, that's going to be your first number 1 victory against anybody as a program. You guys are 0-5 right now. Have you talked about that in the locker room and other lists?
No, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. Those are things that I don't really look into that stuff, just because I don't treat any game like bigger than another. I think that you can't do that. I think you need to take one game at a time, and we're preparing for Stanford just like we would for, Colorado, Utah, UCLA, USC. Are they a little bit better with a little more depth? Yes. But I think that everybody's beatable. I think that's how we play the game. And I don't really get too high or too low or take a game bigger or talk about stats, because I think they don't really matter. So I try not to really bring that up. The players know that was our first 5 win, but I'm sure a lot of players forgot. A lot of kids don't even know half of that stuff. So definitely just focus on what we need to do to beat them, and the strategy and the game plan on how to do that. And we're prepared well. So we'll see what happens on Friday.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so Stanford, statistically, they're the best rebounding team in the conference. That's an area that you guys have struggled a lot over the years. So I'm just curious, what kind of is your game plan to stop them?
Well, Stanford's, they're always typically bigger. It's not so defensive rebounding, of course. Offensive rebound, we're always going to be low in, because I don't value that. That's not what we do. So we're always going to be towards the bottom of the pack, but we're always going to be one of the best in the country in transition defense, because that's kind of an area I value. But defensive rebounding, we have to get better. Stanford does a really good job of congesting the paint and playing percentages, so they're in rebounding position. We know they have some really good players, offensive rebound, like the Halls. Lexi Hall's a very good offensive rebounder. Believe me, they're just talented. They go after the boards hard, so we have to box out. It has been an area that we have to get better in. We're a little bigger this year, so we're better. But we don't have like the girth and the strength inside, and a lot of times we get pushed around. So I think that we're working on asserting ourselves better and concentrating on boxing out. And I think that's been a thing that we've worked on all week. So hopefully you'll see an improvement for this week. But if we don't do that, we won't win the game. So if we don't take care of rebounding and we don't take care of transition defense, we won't win.
And Justin kind of brought it up already, but what does playing on ESPN, I know it's not this week, but what does playing on ESPN mean for your program in terms of the exposure that you can get in recruiting and things like that?
I think it's just tremendous exposure. It's great for recruiting. It's just because more people see you. I think it's great for on a national stage because more writers are watching. It just gives you more recognition. I think a lot of times on the West Coast, we're forgotten. I don't think we get as much love as the East Coast does, or the SEC or other conferences. And we are the best conference in the country. So I think it's good. And I think back to last year when UConn played Oregon, that was a pretty big game. And everybody's watching it like we were watching it. So I think the opportunity is tremendous, and it just shows kind of where our program has risen to. And hopefully we'll have much more ESPN games. But this year having 2 is big time.
And I'm also just curious, yesterday the men's basketball program imposed a ban for the postseason, which for your program might mean that come March, a lot more people are going to be paying attention to your program. I'm just curious if you've thought about that and maybe some of the effects that could have on your team.
No, I think that, that's some of that stuff's just not our control. So we don't really talk or think about that. I'm sure some of the players saw it on Twitter, but it's not something we talk about. That's unfortunate. And, I think in situations as a coach, you always think about players. And I think the thing is for us, our focus is we're trying, like the other programs have been there, done that many times. Remember last year we were in a position to go to the tournament. We didn't get to. So we are extra excited for the opportunity because we haven't done it yet. Well, we haven't done it since I've been here and haven't done it in over a decade. So our focus is one game at a time. We're not looking towards the tournament, but we know if we take care of our business, those things will take care of themselves. But I think, the other thing I want us to be able to host. I want some other stuff to happen, depending on what they decide for the rules. I want us to have fans because we'll have a huge home court advantage if we can sell out McHale. But I think that in general, I don't think that people are more excited about women's basketball because of men's basketball. I think that people are excited about women's basketball because we're putting a better product on the floor. We're a fun team to watch. We're improved. And I think that people know that they were following us last year. They were excited and anticipating March, and then we were going to host and it didn't happen. So I think everybody is really eager at the edge of their seats wanting to follow us. And I think that's a testament to what our players have worked hard, and we've put ourselves in a situation to be one of the best in the country. So I think people just want to see that. And Aries exciting to see. Kate's exciting to watch. Her passion on the court. Lauren Ware, Trinity. Like we have some Bendu. We have some exciting players to watch. Shayna. So I think that people are excited about our team. And so am I.
PJ, go ahead.
Sure. If you were sort of to take yourself out of being a coach of this team for a second, if you're looking at Friday's game, a matchup of two of the top teams in the nation, unbeaten teams, what would you tell people to watch for?
I would tell them to watch for just exciting style of play. 2 teams that are very good in transition with 2 dynamic point guards. And both point guards, just their matchup is just amazing in itself. 2 of the best point guards that will be top picks in the WNBA next year are going at it head to head. And 2 teams that are some of the best in the country in transition. So I think that it's just an exciting game. It's a great game for women's basketball. To see those kind of matchups, 2 All-Americans going at it, I think is exciting. I only have like 1,000 less wins than Tara, but that's okay. We won't count that. But no, it's also a legendary coach. That's just a trailblazer that's broken so many records. So I think there's so many reasons to come or to watch the game. And I think that's what would have been so attractive to come to the game. Because whenever you play a team like Stanford, everybody wants to come. But transition, fast. I think teams that are very good off on-ball situations. So Ari and Kiana are two of the best in the country at using on-balls. And then you have exciting young players. So I think it's just overall, it's just good basketball. And it's going to be a fun game to watch. I don't think by any means, and hopefully, it's not going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a, 1 or 2, 3 possession game. And it was an exciting game last year. And, we got lucky. And I think that there were some things that kind of went down the stretch that we got lucky with. So I think we're feeling confident, but so are they. And I think it's just an exciting test for our team to see where we're at and see what we need to work on or what we're really good at. I think it's going to be a good measurement of where we're at.
Ryan, go ahead.
Early in the season, I think it was the NAU game, you said your team you didn't really feel like your team was prepared for the new reality of not playing with fans. I just want to know, now that you've played a lot of games, just how you think your team's adjusted to that.
Much better. I think we're adjusted. I think we have adjusted. I think that it is what it is. I think that even the atmosphere feels a little bit better. We have more cutouts. I think it just feels more game-like, and that kind of shock, that shock in the beginning, like what's going on? It's, you can hear everything. I think that's over with. So now they're just focused on playing. And I think a lot of basketball and just the, your mind plays a big part in our game. So I think just them being comfortable and confident is huge. And I think we're there right now. We're feeling good. We're confident at home. At first, it didn't feel like home court advantage. I think now it's starting to feel more normal. And so we've adjusted. I think most teams have adjusted because you're seeing better basketball the last couple of weeks. The first couple of weeks, it was kind of a disaster across the country. But now you're seeing just better products. Like you're seeing better production on the floor.
And have you seen new ways that your players kind of get themselves going when, in the pregame intros, they don't have the crowd yelling and stuff? Have you seen new ways that they've been able to get themselves going?
Well, we did something I think it's pretty clever. For the intros, we have their families introducing them. So I don't know if you guys saw, but it was a big thing. It brought tears to eyes and stuff, but their families or their close siblings are saying, and the next person is Kate Reese, 25 from, Cypress, Texas, whatever. So they're all introducing them. So they love it. I think that kind of gives them hype and they want to play hard. But I think we're just manufacturing more energy from the bench. If you saw probably some pictures, but our bench was just excited and enthusiastic and loud. I think we're just finding ways to kind of, give that to each other, and it's been better. But that's why it took that adjustment, because in the beginning it was like so quiet. You're like the ambient noise is just weird. You're like, this is strange. So I think that just took time for that to be normal. And I think now it's normal. We're games in, and I think our environment here is better than some other environments I've seen. So I think it's as normal as it can get in this year, and they're just happy to play.
What makes your environment better, do you think?
All the cutouts, just the way it's set up. I think just the look of it, the feel of it on the court. And I'm probably biased because this is our court, but I think it looks a lot more like it looks as best as it can. Like there's fans. And I think the feel, I think other places, the cutouts are just really small. It just looks different. So a couple places I was like, our gym looks way better, or they don't have a lot of cutouts. They only have a few, or they're really high. I think we've done a really good job of setting ours up and making it feel the best it can. And it's better. I think it's better than it was. We didn't have a lot of cutouts first couple games. We've got more and more. So more people, I guess, are buying the cutouts because we have a lot more than we had before, but it looks awesome.
Justin, go ahead.
Basketball and basketball culture has evolved so much over time. A coach like Tara, why do you think she's been able to maintain success over this stretch of time?
I think because she's a true professional. She does things the right way. I think when you do them the right way, you sustain success. She's a great basketball mind. She's so experienced. I mean, she's coached Olympians. She's coached, the USA team, USA basketball. I think she's a student of the game. So I think what makes a great coach is they can change with the times, because you see a lot of coaches, like I think nationally, they don't change as basketball change and as the players change. I think she's changed and she's constantly evolving and adjusting, and to fit who she's coaching. I think that's what makes a great coach. because it's very hard to be so successful for so many years. When I was playing, and that was a long time ago, Stanford was always good back then. She runs a good system. It's hard to guard, but if you don't study the game and know basketball, I don't think you can be successful for so long. And I think if you don't do things the right way, you're not going to sustain success. You're going to have it 1 year, 2 years, and it's going to go away. But when she does things the right way, you know, just integrity and all those things, and I think that's just that's what she does. And then most great programs have like continuity with their staff. Like Kate Pay's been there a long time. She has staff, a lot of former players, and she keeps those groups for years. And I think that those are all things that attribute to success. And it's hard to do, but she finds a way to do it. Trust me, I ask her questions all the time because I think she's great.
And lastly, if you could set a New Year's resolution for your team, like if there was one thing that your team can improve on the most going into the new year, what would it be?
I think, gosh, I mean, there's probably a lot. Like, I think a goal setting to New Year's is just live in the moment and just celebrate. Like, don't look ahead. So I think just you take 1 day at a time, 1 second at a time. You're in the moment. Like, what are you doing to get better every single day? I think that would be the thing. And we have a lot. We talk about it a lot. We talk about getting 1% better every day, and we talk about one more. So I think just living in the moment and doing your thing and trying to get better every single day at something. I think that would be my thing, the challenge.
Thank you.
Catalina, go ahead.
Good morning. How are you doing? It's
Good
afternoon.
morning.
Sorry.
Oh, good afternoon. Yeah, I don't even know.
It doesn't really matter. Hey, I wanted to ask you, there is a singer-songwriter in Tucson. I don't know if you've heard about this, Connie Brannick. She's an R&B singer, and she has written a tribute song to the Lady Wildcats.
Really?
Yeah, it's called I Love Basketball. And included in the lyrics is this line that says, but it was Loot y'all that put us on the map. Now it's the Lady Cats. That's where it's at. And it talks
That's
about,
nice.
yeah, and it also talks about, says that Coach Adia is going to take us to the Sweet 16. And it's a really,
Okay.
yeah,
No
it's like
pressure.
it's like this tribute song. And I don't know if you'd heard about it, but I wanted to ask, kind of get your opinion of what you think about somebody writing a theme song for the Wildcat women, but also for women in sports, period.
I think that's amazing. I actually just heard about it, like right before I came in here, but I think it's awesome. I think for someone to take the time and care to do that, I think I'm just thankful. I can't wait to hear it. I hope it's really good. Do you guys think it's good?
It is. Yeah, it is pretty good. It's a R&B song.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna see if I can listen to it right now. Adam's gonna search for it, but no, I think that's awesome. I think when you can hear those things, at Washington years ago, we had a song after. I think it's just cool. I think the players will think it's cool, and definitely will blast it in the arena. We can blast it now because people can't complain about how loud it is, so it's perfect. No, but I'm super excited. I'm just thankful that someone just cares enough to do that. I think it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
I've never been on. Washington, but I don't think it was about the women's team. So for us as a women's program to have a song written about us, I think it says a lot about how much Tucson loves our team, and I love that because we love Tucson.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Ryan, go ahead.
Back to the national TV thing. Do you think that
Mhm.
matters as much as it used to? Just because now, I mean, all your games, if they're not on TV, anyone can stream them online, or is it still a really big deal?
I think it's a really big deal because it's ESPN. So I think it's not a lot of people can say they have a big Monday game, and we have two of them. And I think that to have the opportunity, that means people want to watch it. Like last year, you wanted to watch Oregon. And so this year, you want to watch Stanford. So I think it says a lot about where you're at, and people want to see you, because if they didn't want to watch your team, you wouldn't be on the big Monday game. So I think nationally, it helps a lot just for recognition. It helps your players when it comes down to All-American voting and any national honors. It helps because that might be the only time the national writers see you. And so I think it means a lot. And just for recruiting to have that, I think it's a pretty big deal.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, everybody. We're going to start with Harry and Sam here, so we'll use the raise hand function. Go ahead. PJ?
Hi, Ari. Hi, Sam. So you guys have this big matchup with Stanford coming up on Friday. And last time out, you guys beat them in probably one of your best games of last season. How do you feel coming into this game? Do you feel like you're going to carry some of that momentum?
Yes, for sure. We're going to carry that momentum. We've been trying to tell the new people, get in the gym as much as you can for this game. Like, we need to be prepared and clicking on all cylinders, but just get shots up, most importantly.
Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, what did you guys do over the Christmas break? I know obviously you have to balance between taking time off, but then kind of staying in shape because you obviously have a huge game coming up on Friday.
Yeah, we were nice enough to get 3 days off. So we definitely took a couple days to rest up. We know we have Pac-12 coming up, so it's going to be long and tough. But the gym was available to us for a couple hours throughout the day, so we were able to get a couple shots up, just stay ready because we know we had a big matchup coming up. We have a big matchup coming up, so we can't take too much time off and relax.
And normally if this were a normal year, McHale would probably be sold out for Friday. I just want to know kind of what you think about not being able to play in front of your fans and what that adjustment has been like so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely never easy. You kind of have to get adjusted to it every game. But I mean, they do play fan background noises while we're actually playing. So that helps a lot. And once you're in the game, it kind of distracts you and you're not really focused on it. But it definitely, it hurts a little bit, especially knowing that we're playing a #1 team. So I mean, I have all my friends texting me are you still not allowed to have fans? And it kind of sucks a little bit, but I mean, we are prepared and the team is motivated. We're working on our bench celebrations, as you probably saw in the last game. So we're just trying to keep each other excited and motivated.
And Ari, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it sucks, like Sam said. I mean, we create our momentum comes from our fans, but I think that so far bench has done a great job to keep us encouraged and motivated and pumped up.
Are there moments in the game where, I mean, Sam, you kind of said you don't really notice it, but are there moments maybe when it feels like you guys are making a run, or maybe when you're struggling, when you think oh man, if we had our home crowd, this would be a moment where it would really help? I mean, or have you gotten past that already?
I mean, it's definitely nice in moments where we're either last game against Idaho where we were hitting a bunch of threes, and then it would have been nice to have the crowd there with us, but obviously we had our teammates. But then it's also kind of a struggle when in the certain games in the beginning of the season where we were down 10, 15, 5, and we were trying to get it back. I feel with our fans, we possibly could have got back within the game a little bit quicker, but we obviously were able to pull it off.
PJ, go ahead.
Sure. You guys are at this point in your season and in your progression, as you keep growing and trying to and improving and gelling and all of that kind of stuff and putting it all together. What do you think are the keys for you in this game Friday? So what do you have to do with your game? I know that you focus on yourself pretty much. So what do you think are the keys for you this game?
I think the keys are to rebound, play great team defense, and to take care of the ball. We have to value possession because Stanford is a great transition team. So, I mean, just valuing each possession and just, taking care of the ball.
Anybody got anything else? All right. Thanks, guys.
Someone had a question. Someone had a question.
Someone have a question?
Yeah, I do have a question. This has nothing to do with the game of Stanford. This has to do with, there is a Tucson singer-songwriter who has written a song for the women's basketball team. And she's releasing it next week, and it's called I Love Basketball. And one of the lyrics is, Coach Adia, you're going to take our Lady Cats real far. Our beloved Luda smiling down from a shining star. And this is sort of like, it's like a theme song for you guys. It's like I said, it's called I Love Basketball. It's a really upbeat R&B song. And I wanted to find out what you guys thought of the fact that someone thinks you guys are incredible and she has written a song for you.
I think that's dope. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, to just give our team recognition, and I just can't wait to hear. I mean, I wish I was on the hook, but we'll talk about that later.
And Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't think I've ever heard of someone writing a song about a basketball team, let alone a women's basketball team. So I'm really excited to hear it, and maybe we'll download and listen for our pregame warm up.
That would be awesome. It's going to be available on January 6th.
Awesome. Thank you.
On Apple Music?
Huh? Yeah,
Apple
all platforms.
Perfect.
And her name is Connie Brannick.
Oh.
Yeah, Adam, I'm gonna need.
Yeah, I'll write that down.
Anne Marie, go ahead.
Hey there, my question is for Sam. You said you're working on your bench celebrations. What kind of work does that entail? They're fun to watch. What does that look like?
I mean, it's kind of just the heat of the moment. I mean, last game against Idaho, I was on the bench for a little bit more time than normal, so I was definitely able to like practice my skills a little bit. But when Tara came in and started hitting the threes, I would jump up like basically on the court. I shouldn't do that, but cheering him. But then Ari came up too, and Ari sits in front of me with like the spaced out chairs, and so her and Kate all jumped up. So I was like, "Where am I supposed to go?" And so I just fell to the floor and acted like I fainted. And then my nice teammates were there to fan me off because Tara was just too hot.
Yep, she was great. She was great. Okay, well, looking forward to see what comes next.
Augustine, go ahead.
This question's for both players. Before a big game, do you have a pregame ritual or routine that you always do going into a game like this?
Me personally, I don't. I just like try and get enough sleep before the game. That's the most important thing. Like the night before, just sleep. But I feel like Ari probably has some rituals.
I definitely get some shots up before the game, and I work on things that are going to be available to me. And yeah, I just like keep watching film, like on previous games.
Ryan, go ahead.
Sam, you struggled with your shot early in the season, but these last few games you've really picked it up. I mean, did you make any changes, or is it just kind of one of those things where you figured that if you just kept shooting, eventually they would go in?
Kind of a mix of both. I definitely got in the gym more just to try and be as confident in my shot. But then also I think it was just like a mental block. I knew once I hit my first one, like they would keep falling, but it was just waiting for that moment to finally hit my first one. So luckily I was able to get it and just keep on rolling from there.
All right. Thank you, guys.